Growing up, I swore by practicing in altered rhythms. I spent hours and hours and hours learning Chopin Études with all the fancy dotted rhythms. Now, I believe they're a waste of time. In this video, you're going to learn an alternative to the altered dotted rhythms. My number one reason for not practicing in altered rhythms is I think I would tune out. So in other words, if I'm just doing a whole page of dotted rhythms, I think I would just stop listening. And my job, and I want your main job to be when you sit at the piano, to listen. Let me explain something before I start. I posted this on Instagram this week, and it was incredibly controversial, with most people not agreeing with me to drop the altered rhythms. Videos are short there. I didn't have time to explain my alternative, but I want to say that I am open to learning. And it is very possible that I was taught altered rhythms in a way that really wasn't as productive as I think, but maybe there is another alternative. If you have other ideas, please post it in the comments below. So I am going to share my understanding of how I learned altered rhythms. I'm going to take a part of the revolutionary Etude of Chopin and show you what I used to do in grade school learning this. So I'm starting on the fourth line, which is a tricky part. So what I used to do is I would take this 16th note passage and practice it. I would go further, but let's do other altered rhythms. I think I learned about 6 more variations on that. I wouldn't say they were harmful, but I would say they were a waste of time. That is my perception now, because I would spend an hour on this for each Chopin Études. I did 5 of them at my debut recital. So it was a lot of time that, yes, I had a solid learning of these Chopin Études, but I could have been learning so much more repertoire. So now I don't practice that at all. Of course, I apply all of my piano ninja tricks. I have a whole system of them, but I'm going to show you a little bit of what I would do if I were trying to strengthen this passage of the revolutionary, or possibly even just at first learning it. So I'm always looking for patterns. So what I want to find is how many notes in one pattern. What I mean by that is before I have to move my hand. So if I'm here, this is another like sequence, but if this happens a lot in this section, I'm in a closed position, and then it goes to an open, and then it goes to closed, and then it goes to open. So I'm going to look for those patterns. So here's one, and I'm going to say this 1, 2, 3, 4 is pretty easy. So I would do that as one group. What I'm going to work on avoiding is changing the rhythms. However, there are times where I stop, because if I were just learning this is a lot of pattern changes to absorb all at once. So there are times I stop in those 16th notes, but I don't effectively change, I don't dot a rhythm that isn't there. So I might play and I wouldn't do that very much. They're so similar. I don't need to do much. But in the next measure, it changes a lot. So instead of the altered rhythm, I would take a group of notes. So there's the group of 4, a 4, a 4, and of those 3. So then I would take, I want to teach my hand where it's going, so I would take, that was a little too much at the end, so I would take, so the difference being that instead of changing the rhythm, I'm using the same rhythm, but I'm moving my hand where the pattern changes. Now I'm going to continue on, but I'm going to assume I know it a little further along in my learning journey, let's say. And now I'm going to take more of those groups. I'm going to take 2 at once, and then 3 at once, and then 4 at once. And starting on the 4th line. And then I'm going to take 2 of those. And I would repeat that. And I'm using quick reflex. I've taught here before, really the shortest distance between two notes is a straight line, so moving really quickly. That was an overjump, so I just corrected. That's fine. Instead of stopping there, I go one more pattern. Now, the other common comment I got on Instagram was, well, I need to build finger strength, and I changed the articulation. So I don't know if I would say I don't find a need to practice the staccato, but I do find a need to really focus on every finger. It's called what I call it is quick finger rapid motion up. So I'm focusing on the up as much as the down. So take a look. So what I don't want to do is this. That's what causes tension. I already feel it in here. I don't want to do that. But what I do want to do is make sure every note gets equal value. So in other words, I'm not skimming over notes like this. And then it just gets sloppy. So each note is very strong. So notice I'm combining that with quick reflex motion. It's very subtle and these small motions, but if you notice right here, quick recap in case you haven't seen any of my videos of quick reflex motion. It's when I move incredibly quickly in a straight line so I get there early, even at a fast tempo. So if you watch really, really closely, instead of and taking my time getting there, I'm there, I'm on that A sharp well before I need to. And each of these, and that was another big jump with quick reflex motion. I would practice that a few times. Quick reflex. In that measure, I would practice, but it's not changing the rhythm. So again, I may not have all the answers. You might know something about this. I don't know. I've never been taught, and I will tell you in all my lessons with Earl Wild, with John Perry, my studies with Leon Fleischer, Lillian Clare, they never talked about practicing in altered rhythms. I know, I've been told, quartet to them, and I think possibly they may work for some pianists and not for others. If you have found a way to practice in altered rhythms that you find effective and you know that you are listening, tell me in the comments. I really want to know. I'm really eager to learn about this. The other thing I want to mention, it's Saturday here, and this is what I wear on Saturdays, and I sometimes think I would be recording more video if I didn't have to decide what to wear, so tell me that too. Should I do more casual videos like this? Always looking to learn what helps you and what you enjoy as well. If you want to find out if you're ready for Chopin Études, check out the next video. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you there.